I love it. I like when it said just let's talk. Hello, everybody. This is your co-host for today, Barbara J. Beckley. I am one of the fabulous 5 hosts that comes on every Sunday. And today we're going to let's talk fab about, I'm going to say this slow, power of heart-centered life. I feel like that should be the foundation for all of us. We need some heart out there. We need some love going out there. So today we have a wonderful panel that's going to be talking from the heart. Some golden nuggets going to come out, some wisdom, some guidance for us. And just get your pen, get your paper ready because you are going to want to take some notes. Let's talk fab. I love technology because it brings in everybody. So first of all these, look at these wonderful, beautiful faces. I just got to say, oh my God, look at the queen. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I got all women. I got queens. Got to talk about the queens. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. So before we get into it, because we have a lot to uncover and I want to make sure these queens have enough time to really talk about, because we have some videos from them and we really want to make sure that you really understand about the power of heart-centered life. But, before we go there, I have a quick video just to, I always say to set the tone, to make the tone so people can understand more where we're coming from. So we'll be right back. Yes. So from in with out, right? Inward to outward. So it always starts with you. Every day I look in the mirror and I tell myself, okay, Barbara, what can I do to make another path in my life that's coming from my heart to help somebody else? I always ask myself that, no matter what, even if I'm grumpy, even if I'm upset, even if I'm pissed off, I still ask those questions to myself because, I always say, okay, it's bigger than you, Barbara. And somebody out there needs your heart. Somebody out there needs that hug. Somebody out there needs to know that they're wanted and they have a voice, right, everybody? So with that, we are going to meet our panelists. Let me get us together here. Yes. And we're going to start off. Ooh, one queen here. Put you in the middle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Latisha Jackson Gibbs, and I am from Plainfield, Illinois. Excited to be here today.
I'm excited that you're here too. Oh, we got the dynamic, the mother and daughter.
Go ahead, older one.
Oh God, I've earned it. Hi everyone, I am Coach Rochelle and I live in South Florida.
And I am Coach Alisha Schwartz and I live in South Florida as well. Happy to be here.
Happy that you are here, queens. We got mother and daughter. That's like a dynamic. Next queen.
I'm Sherry Knight, and I am in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Oh, Canada. I love that's my other wonderful country. Yes, queen from Canada. And last but not least, our other queen here. And Kim, I might need your help. Okay, there you go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Melendez, and I am in Central New Jersey. And I am so happy to be here to connect with everyone.
Oh, I love you, Jackie. So with that, it's so nice that you can get people from all around the country, all around the United States to come and talk about something that's so important, and that's power of the heart-centered life. Now, I tell myself a lot. I asked each and every one of these queens, I said, please, can you, I want you, come. And guess what? They said yes. They said yes. And that's why they're here, because I feel like each and every one of them, because when I pick the people to come on the panel, I want to make sure that they're not just saying something, but they're doing it through their life. They're leaders in their life doing that. And each and every one of these queens, I see it all the time. You know, I met them through friendship or through groups or just, you know, just working with them with their empires. And I see that heart. And that's what pushes them and everybody else. So with that, I want to start off because we have a few golden nuggets and wisdom from a lot of them. And I'm going to start with Queen Sherry.
Hi there, Sherry Knight here, wanting to talk about heart life. I want you to think about the word unstoppable. One word, but the last four letters, ABLE, able. Everything that comes to us, everything that stops us in our tracks, everything that creates that stress and that feeling of, oh, I can't go on, I can't manage this any longer. Yes, we can, because we are able. And because you have so much going on in your life that does work, it's focused. That's it. It's focus, focus, focus. Keep a lookout for those things that allow us to be going forward, to always stay within what we can do, because we can't always do the same things that other people can. But our lives, our bodies, our minds are there to help us be unstoppable in the things that we choose to do. Sometimes it takes us a little longer. Sometimes it takes us with a different focus. But there are ways to remain and stay that unstoppable person that you are.
Oh, see, okay. I forgot to tell people, did you get your tissue? We're going to need some. Yeah, we're going to need some. I see it already. I was sitting there crying, especially when she said unstoppable. So I got to bring in Sherry, please, if you want to make some more on that particular topic that you brought up.
You bet. Actually, it comes from my book, Unstoppable. And that was a study I did between American women and Canadian women to find out what do we look at in terms of success. And each and every one, I don't care whether you want to be the best grandmother, you want to be the best president of a company, you want to be the best volunteer, it doesn't matter. But we always need to remember that we are able to put one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and make those small changes until we get to that place that we're actually wanting to be. And it takes time sometimes, but the most important thing is we have to be focused on it, and we have to know where it is we want as that end result. And so when we take those baby steps, eventually we can get there. That's what it's about.
I love it. So I want you to just, and I want anybody else to chime in too here, because we want a conversational piece. With being that unstoppable, taking those steps, how has it with the power of heart-centered helped you with that?
Because when we know who we are and what it is that we want out of life at the moment, because that changes, right? It changes with age, it changes with the marriage and non-marriage and kids, and it changes with the volunteers that we work with and the friends that we have, it changes with everything. But that whole element about being heart-centered means, who am I? And what's important to me? Because what's important to Sherry is not necessarily what's important to somebody else. We have to know ourselves, and that makes a difference for us, because looking at this, it takes time to understand ourselves. I always say, we raise children from 0 to 7. We try to teach them everything they need to know. And then from 7 to 12, they experiment with it. And I used to say from 12 to 18, they went out to prove you lied to them. Now I think it might be more like 35, but times change. And that heartfelt center is something that we need to know who it is for us. And sometimes we listen to too many other people instead of listening to ourselves. And I think that's the important thing. Listen to ourselves.
I love that. I love that. Anybody else want to chime in on that from Sherry?
Oh, come on. Somebody has to.
Oh, okay. That's it. I think I see Jackie.
Yes, I was going to say that as you were speaking, Sherry, I felt like you were talking to me, only to me. You really created a connection. and, finding out who am I, especially after certain aspects of our lives, just like you said. I'm really finding out who am I, and I'm comfortable with who I am. No filters, no pleasing people, just being me, being comfortable, being happy, being centered. What makes me happy? What makes me peaceful? So everything you said applied to me, and I felt like you were talking to me. So thank you for that.
And I was. So what is it that made the difference for you to be able to recognize that within yourself?
Yeah. For me, it was learning to slow down, learning to pause, learning to sit back, not being in a rush. What makes me happy? What completes me? So I became my own center. And that's my magic. And it's beautiful. And I thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Anybody else want to add?
I'll jump in there. I love what Jackie and Sherry both had to share. Every day we know we live in a world that teaches us to lead so much from our heads with strategy, numbers, results. We're also, so driven with that. But your heart carries so much more wisdom that spreadsheets can never measure. So I definitely love that. And I love what Jackie said. I use it when you have to take those precious moments to yourself just to stop, slow down, and then listen to what your heart is actually saying.
I had to give a drop mic. I had to drop that mic. When you said about how your heart, spreadsheets and everything else is not going to get to the heart. That was a drop of wisdom. I love it. I love it. Love it. So with that, we need to move on. I want to go to our dynamic duo, our mother and daughter. Let's hear their clip, and then we're going to hear some more from them.
We are the mother-daughter dynamic duo, and are we a duo?
Yeah, so we're talking really about what it is to live the power of a heart-centered life.
I love that.
So, for me, living a heart-centered life is all about being true to yourself, being authentic, saying what you mean and meaning what you say, coming from your heart, sharing your truth. What about you?
Well, I know for a fact that if you trust your heart will lead the way. There's no question about it. So what I would say is go from your head, breathe, and go drop into your heart, into that sacred space.
And I think the benefit of living a heart-centered life, one of the golden nuggets I would say to living a heart-centered life is you get to be authentically you. And that to me gives you peace of mind. What about you?
It does. It absolutely does. And when you're in your head, your mind is going all kinds of places, but if you can drop and breathe into your heart and just be still.
And that's all you need.
That's it.
That's our golden nuggets. Sending you lots of love. Mwah.
Oh, I just got to put them in. I love the tips that they both gave. See, that's why they're a dynamic duo, because they just blend together with love. Go ahead, dynamic duo.
Okay, well, that was fun. And thank you all for sharing too, Sherry and Latisha and Jackie. That was amazing what you all shared about how it's been a heart-centered life for you and what that means. It's awesome.
It's a journey of a lifetime. And I can say that and own it. It really and truly is. And the heart is like the most delicious thing and gift that you can give to yourself. And I know I've been doing a lot of work for over decades, but that heart, the pumping of that heart is so powerful if you really listen and if you really stay silent, because it has all your answers, anything and everything, right?
Right.
Thank you.
And, I think in what my mom is saying as well, I think for me, living a heart-centered life has taken me Oh, a lot of pain in healing, so I can listen to my heart. I think a lot of times when you have, trauma of any kind, you can't really hear the heart because you're living from that place of trauma or whatever that is for each of us. And doing the work we've done, I think for me, I've been able to follow my intuition, which is my heart, and really lead from that place and just be me. Because really, there's nothing better than being yourself.
And that's the freedom that you give yourself. It really is.
Yes.
Isn't that delicious?
See, okay, that's it. You know what? She took it because I wanted to say that again. I love when she says delicious, to give to yourself. I mean, that just sounds like, ooey gooey, in your heart and your soul. And, you just look at that. And these two, I'm telling you, they are the dynamic duo because they really come from a heart center from each and every person they talk to. And I like what you mentioned about how, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be really true to yourself. And if there's something that that's going on, just be true. Just be out. Say, okay, I'm having this, whatever. And then move forward because people want you to be, they want you to be yourself. They want you to be honest with you. And if you don't be honest with yourself, then all the foundation is going to go faulty. I always tell people that it have to start with you. So thank you, dynamic mother and daughter. I love them too. Gooey gooey, delicious, making me hungry.
But there's a challenge here. There's a challenge because as we're growing up, we're not always recognizing that. I went through a marriage where I was trying to be the right wife. And eventually I realized that I'll never be the right wife because I'm not in the right place. And so when my former husband said, I think I want out of this marriage, I understood. So did I. I just didn't have the guts at that time to be the first one to make the message. But that element about understanding yourself, you don't understand yourself until you've been through that fire. Somebody talked about that. Through that fire to allow you then to go, oh, this isn't where I need to be in my life. I need to be someplace different. And you've addressed that, you beautiful dynamic duo. You've addressed it so well. We have to get to that point where we are in charge of us instead of allowing other people to be.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to get to know who we are. I'm divorced also. And it took a long time and a lot of pain and a lot of everything. But when you really and truly get to know who you are in your heart, you can't stay. It's impossible. You've got to move.
And I also think too, it's like we talked about the trauma, whether that's divorce, whether that's a learning challenge, whether that's, domestic abuse, whatever it is for each one of us. I think when you work with and heal and go through the layers of that, you really get to know yourself in a really heartful way, because the pain is so great that unless you're really walking through it, you're just covering it.
Yep.
And you can't hear that authentic voice. You can't hear your higher self or your heart or your intuition because it's blocked with all of that toxicity from the wounds we carry. So that's the greatest thing you could give yourself, is going through it.
Our wounds are our greatest gifts. Our greatest gifts.
And that's where you can be authentic, because if you're walking around carrying that, you're carrying it. You're carrying all the pain, and you're not really hearing and listening to you and really knowing your authentic self, because it's layered.
And some of us are slow learners. It took me 7.5 years.
Absolutely.
Now I know who I am. But it was a long journey. It wasn't overnight.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Some journeys are longer than others.
But those are our biggest lessons. The hardest ones are our biggest lessons.
Yes, very true.
Love it. Love the lessons, love everything. I love, Sherry, how you put in there, the fire. Certain words that you're all saying is amazing, because it just brings you back to, okay, the fire push. Sometimes some things have to push you or tell you, you know what, you are more than enough. Don't let that circumstance, don't let that person, don't let the places and things stop you from being who you are. And when you go through certain things, I always say it's stepping stones of strength. It's stepping stones of strength, each step. So, saying that, before we listen to our other two queens here, I want to play, because remember, this is about the power of heart-centered life. And everybody's coming from that point. Here's a video that's going to really explain in more detail from our wonderful Tamara L. Hunter. She created this. It's called Living from the Heart. We'll be right back.
There's a quiet voice inside the noise, a whisper calling clear. It leads us back where truth resides, beyond the doubt and fear.
I've chased the world for answers, but the peace was never far. It lives in open moments when we're living from the heart.
Live from the heart. Let the love be your guide when the storm clouds gather. Keep the light inside every act of kindness, every brand new start. Find your way, your sacred place. Live from the heart.
Live from the heart.
Every hand we hold in kindness,
Every tear we learn to dry builds a bridge that leads to healing. One breath, one look, one sigh.
the world keeps spinning faster, but our souls still know the art of finding grace in stillness when we're living from the heart.
When shadows fall, love will remind us we never walk alone.
The rhythm of compassion
Beats a truth we've always known.
live from the heart. Let the love be your guide. Turn the pain to purpose. Let your spirit shine in the circle of connection. We're never apart. The world begins to heal again when we
Live from the heart.
I love it.
Chin here.
I
Okay.
love it.
You see, look at this. Look at this. I'm the host. I can't be.
Yes, you can. You
I
be.
love it. I love it. I'm being me. I'm being me. Oh my God. That is Tamara L. Hunter. She's like the queen bee. to me.
Amazing.
That's
She's the one that's
beautiful.
the production. She created all this show, the Fabulous Show, and she creates each song and each video. That is amazing. Tamara, we love you. She's out there watching. So just in comments, I want, please, okay, talk about out there watching. This is not just the queens up here on the panel. We want to invite you into the conversation too. So if you have any tidbits, you have any wisdom to share, well, how you live from the heart, your centered life, please share it with us. We need it. And every person that's on here that's saying something, a tip or whatever, somebody out there needs to hear that today. If you hold it in, guess what? You're accountable. Did you let somebody down? I'm sorry. I just had to say it. You don't want to let nobody down. So you have to say your wisdom.
I like to chime in on that, Barbara. We really can't live a heart-centered life if our heart is so hardened. So healing definitely is part of the process. forgiveness, gratitude, self-compassion. It helps us to clear a space for being able to have peace and also receive blessings that can come in. When we begin to heal, we align ourselves with who we really are and not who the world keeps saying who we should be. So I definitely love that Tamara, that video we just watched definitely lets you know. And healing doesn't mean that we forget either, right? Because it's something that we actually went through. But it does mean releasing it can help us to become better, to live a heart-centered life, to help us to rise.
Oh boy, here we.
You mentioned there, sorry if I'm butting in, you mentioned gratitude, and that is critical to anybody and everybody who wants to improve themselves. Find the little silver lining in everything. And it doesn't matter how bad it is. There's always one little thing that you can find to be grateful for.
I love that.
You gotta. But anybody else want?
I have one thing, and I think one of the biggest things, and I agree with gratitude and love, forgiveness. If you can't forgive, you're going to keep yourself stuck, and forgiveness releases you, and it shows you your heart when you can forgive yourself as well as others. That's what I have to say.
Ooh. Yes. I had to give that star to the woman, Miss Rochelle. You know what? I want to say, just to add to that real quick, and then we're going to play Queen Latisha's video. Forgiving is so important. And it's not so much, just to remind everybody, I know a lot of people hear this, but really take it in. It's not really for that person. It's for you. Right. You really have to forgive, move it forward, and make sure that all that's out of your heart, because that makes that center heart even blossom even more. So if you have unforgiveness in your heart, then you can't be full power. What we're talking about is a power of heart-centered life. We can't have that full power if we're holding grudges, if we're holding unforgiveness, and everything else that comes with that, right? Because one thing about unforgiveness, it sprouts out other ugly stuff, And I was like, okay, I'm not only forgetting, I really don't like them that much, or I don't want to talk to them, or why are they talking to them? All of a sudden, all this extra stuff comes out. And if you just forgive and let it go, then you don't have to worry about all that. You just be like, oh, I love you from afar.
And I also think too, it gives you that peace of mind. You're not carrying all that weight of that unforgiven heart. And it really gives you the peace you're looking for, because if you're holding on to that, hardened heart, and you don't forgive, that person leaves and dies, you're still carrying it.
Yeah.
You're not, they're gone. And now you hold it. So the best thing we can do is forgive, release, let go, and just trust that our hearts can heal. And everyone, when we heal, the world heals. We're all one. So it's a collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a game show with all those little things.
It keeps things moving. See, I always told everybody, so we're having fun no matter what. Thanks for bringing that up, Queen, because like you said, it's a weight. You don't need that weight, especially if they left and they're no longer here. I had to deal with that. I dealt with something that I was holding unforgiveness, and the person passed away. So then I had to worrying about forgiving without feeling bad that they didn't hear that from me, or they didn't see that. That was hard for a minute. And I said, you know what? I just have to just, they're in, I always say they're out there having fun in heaven. And I'm sitting here still holding that. No, I need to let that go. And they're not even thinking about it. There's so much having fun up there. They're about like, okay, whatever, Barbara. You need to let it go, Barbara. That's what's basically what they're saying. So with letting it go, we want to go to our next Queen's video. And then I know she has some other golden nuggets to add. We'll be right back.
Life changes the moment you start living from the heart, not just from the hustle. When you lead with your heart, you end up moving differently.
You listen more, you love deeper, you show up not to impress, but to definitely leave an impact. A heart-centered life isn't weak, it's very powerful. Because when your intentions are pure, your actions will carry weight. You attract peace instead of pressure, alignment instead of anxiety. Every choice, every connection, every opportunity starts to flow with purpose. The power of a heart-centered life is that it reminds you who you truly are, not what the world says that you should be. So today, lead with your heart. You'll be amazed at how the world responds.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I had to put this queen in here. Woo. If she gets in the middle, get in the middle. There we go.
You know, I really love this topic. You know, I think the world would be better if we could all have everybody live a heart-centered life, because it deepens our connections, not only just for others, but also for yourself, for each of us. We lead with compassion, and then when we lead with compassion, we attract what is true. You begin to attract what's truly meant for you. Because now what? You've gone through the process of healing your heart. You've gone through the process of forgiving. You've gone through the process. Now you have gratitude each and every day. And what's that old saying? People may forget what you say to them, but they definitely won't forget how you made them feel.
Oh, that's my quote. I said, that's my quote. I love that quote. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. What I wanted to just remind, because of the video that you put there, Queen, is when you said it kind of puts a check in your heart. I love that you kind of said about putting a check in your heart when you know that you might not be that power of the heart-centered life. And when you have to, it reminds you to be first. And see, it keeps going back. Every person on this panel has said it in some kind of way. It keeps going back to you first. You have to start with yourself. I can't ask nobody to have a power heart-centered life if I'm not trying to do it, right? We got to be leaders in that in our own lives.
That is
Awesome.
so true. We definitely have to start with ourselves, because if you haven't truly healed, how can you truly connect with the next person or try to help them be able to heal from what they are going through? So definitely it has to start with you. You have to less harden your own heart, to heal from whatever it is you have been through or going through, to be able to pass and open up to the next person.
Yes, definitely. Anybody else want to add to what Queen said? This is amazing.
One of the things that I often do, because I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with part of my business, and I always say a little prayer before that and ask for help from my power, my higher power, which for me is God. Everybody has a different higher power, and that's fine. But I ask for that help because sometimes I might not be able to reach in and help that person just by myself, just by my past experience, my knowledge, my skill. That's not enough sometimes. So what you're saying there, Latisha, is so critical for us to reach out and know who we are, but also know where our limitations are.
Yeah. Yeah. And anybody else want to chime in? I see. Okay, okay, I'll chime in for a minute. I don't have no problem chiming in. So what I want to say, I'm glad that you said that, because I was just about to say that it's okay that you don't have things figured out. It's okay that sometimes, just like we were saying before, that you might not feel a certain way that certain day. You're going back to what the dynamic mother and daughter duo said about being real with yourself, being open with yourself first, because you got to start there. Don't lie to yourself. That's the last thing you want to do, start lying to yourself, because you will never have that power of the heart center life if you start lying to yourself. And believe me, when you start lying to yourself, other people gonna pick that up, and you'll get called out in a heartbeat. You'll be like, how did they see that? What are they talking about? So you want to make sure that you just true with yourself, because we only live this life. We come through this life. I know a lot of people think, you're going to come back. Life is a bird or a dog or whatever. I don't know. That's some other thoughts. I just say, okay, I'm here. Let me live the life now and move to the next, level. But while you're here, while you're right here, right now, I was just talking to, in fact, this morning I was talking to the mother and daughter duo that we cannot get time back. You cannot get time back. You can make all the money you want to if you can. You can make a lot of friends or not friends or whatever, but time you can't get back. So use it. Use that Power of a Heart Life Center to make sure that every day that you're not only living it yourself, but you're helping and gaining others at the same time and showing that leadership within you to them.
I also wanted to say something, Barbara, on what you're saying, because I think also living a heart-centered life is being true. And like you said, being true is maybe you waking up and not feeling great, and being honest with yourself. You know what? Today I'm having a down day, but I can do things to pick myself up by listening to my heart. But it's being true to where you are, not trying to put ice cream on top of the poop, if you will. Right? So it's really being true to your heart. And sometimes you're not having a great day, and that's okay too. To be gentle and kind to yourself, even when you're not, because there are days you're not, and that's okay too. So that's another way to live a heart-centered life, is to being true to yourself. That's really, and thank God, you have people in your life to support you. Sometimes if you can't support yourself, you reach out, you ask for help, you ask for guidance, you go from your God above, whatever you believe in, and there you get back into your heart-centered life again. But I think that's important too, is not to just say, oh, we're all going to just be happy. Sometimes you're not. And that's okay, because that's being true to who you are in that moment. Mm-hmm. Yes. I just wanted to add that little piece to what you were saying. It was wonderful.
Thank you. You're all wonderful. Wonderful. So with that, we're going to hear from, and I love this lady. When I met her, she's just so powerful, because you talking about believing in herself and understanding herself and taking it all in. This is Miss Jackie. She's the I am Jackie. Yeah, she's not just Jackie, she's the I am. So Jackie, please, Queen, you have found your own purpose with other women regarding what you even do for them. So I want you to talk about how your powered heart-centered life got you to that point, and just being who you are, because you are just a star to me.
Wow. It took a long time to find me. I want to say, and I'm going to refer back to Tamara's video, where it says, love isn't a feeling we find, it's a way we live. And that hit the spot for me, because being now happily divorced a second time, I dealt and grew up, whether it was my culture, it wasn't about taking care of me or finding my heart or what made me happy. It was always about for others, for my father. And then you get married and it's all about, for the man, for the husband. The only way I was taught for me to be happy was making him happy. And it's so challenging, because if you tell someone within your family or whatever, I'm not happy, or oh no, you're gonna get over it. It's okay. You'll deal with it. So I didn't really find myself until I was 50. I was going to Spain to celebrate my 50th birthday with my children. And it came to me, and I even wrote it down. So I wrote it down, and I still look at it every day. I wasn't lucky in love, okay? Or I changed it. Maybe I wasn't lucky or aligned with love with someone else, because I never loved myself first. I never saw me for me, going to the beauty salon and getting your hair done and, being a people pleaser, because of course, if I make all of y'all happy, I'm going to be happy. And that wasn't right. So with everything that everyone said here, I take it in like you're speaking to me. It applies to me, but I've learned that I am amazing. I've learned that for me to do a video on Facebook or IG, I don't have to look a certain way. I just got to show up, because we don't look glamorous and fabulous every day. I've tried to do that, but it's a lot of work. And then even if I would to post a picture or do a video, I had to look a certain way, and the background had to look a certain way. This is me. And I think this me is the better me. I've grown my character, and my purpose has always been to connect with women, like I'm connecting here. Create a connection, create a bond. So I am happy with this Jackie, because I am Jackie Melendez, and I am connecting with each and every one of you. So my heart is full. I am happy.
Oh my God. Well, I'm happy with that Jackie too. I love this Jackie. I love her, love her, love her. So anybody want to add to that? You just was powerful, Jackie. That's why I wanted you to express in detail on that, because it's so important to hear that you know what, I was a people pleaser, or I was this, and now I had to really move out. And it didn't, you see the age range, it doesn't matter what age you are where you get to that point, long as you get to that point, that road in your life.
Yes.
So thank you for even being so vulnerable to say that and say, you know what, it took me to this point, but guess what, I'm loving on me even more than ever now. I think the dynamic duo needs to want to say something. I see there she go.
Yes. Yeah, love was a real big one for me, because I never had it. So that was a big mission for me in my lifetime. And I so relate to what you're saying. People would say, oh no, just, it's like pushing it under the carpet, because it doesn't matter how you feel. But love for me, because what I learned about love was not someone caring for you, and I never had that. So I grew up, and it was love was sex. I knew nothing else.
Yes.
Right? And it was like, and so who did I pick? Someone who loves sex. But it wasn't giving to me. I gave and I gave and I gave. So I really had to find out who Rochelle is and that love that I need. And it's been a huge journey, but a lot of freedom, a lot of forgiveness. I have forgiven my ex-husband. I can have a comment. I laugh at him because I laugh at what I did. I mean, I'm okay. It's like funny. But to get to that point, what I'm saying is you've got to find out about you and what you are and who you are. And when that happens, it doesn't matter if nobody likes you, you like you. That's the freedom. So thank you for that. It was great.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. This is like the love fest today. I'm loving every minute of it. And you know, the nice thing about it is each and every one of you, and I'm glad you brought that up, Queen Rochelle, is because everything, we all been through something. See, I just want to I'm putting stuff out there because I know it's not always da-di-da-di-da, and we all get that. We're human. We deal with stuff every single day of our lives. And I'm glad that you are all being so open to bringing up that, yeah, I was in a relationship that was crappy. I was thinking that I had to please them and put myself to the side. I've been there. We all been there some kind of way. It didn't have to be a husband or wife. It could have been a friend. It could have been a job. It could have been a job that you did. And I've done that too. I did job and relationship. So I was all different angles. I was like, oh, okay. But see, I'm looking at each and other's lady's face today, and everybody I'm not missing you all in the comments. You're not overlooked, that you came out just this beautiful, heart-centered, no matter what the cost was put there. So I always tell people, how some people say, well, I failed in that. I didn't do right in this area. I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't fail. You weren't wrong. You was learning. It's called, and I love what my other queen says in the dynamic woman, a mother and daughter, is earth. What is it? Earth school. It's earth school. We are all learning and growing together. You're not failing. You're learning to be the other best person that you are. So never sit there and say, well, I'm a failure and I messed up. Hey, I messed up something like 10 times. 10 times. Well, More than that. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes the same thing, and the same person. But you know what? I've learned more and more of like, okay, Barbara, this is insanity now. This is becoming like a normal thing. And that's okay to even mention that, because somewhere down the line, my eyes open, my heart open, somewhere I was broken. So that what I had to do was dig deeper into me on why it kept hitting that brick over my head over and over and over again. And then it takes people like these queens on here. It takes people that are on the comments, and we all come together and we share our bricks over our heads. Because then you find out, hey, I got hope. And guess what? I'm not alone. I am not alone. So with all of that, I want you all just to give yourself some grace. Because a lot of times we don't do that. We be so, and then we're like, oh, then we're all broken. It's okay. It's okay. And that builds your heart-centered life, because you are giving yourself grace and you're understanding that what we're all growing together. So with that, I want to ask, because we got a few more minutes here, and I want to really ask the question to everybody, not just the panel. Like I said, I'm bringing you all in the comments here. You're not alone out there. So talking about action, each and every one of us, when it talks about power of heart-centered life. Now, we talk about how beautiful it is, but, real life brings pain, as we said, right? It brings betrayal, disappointment. How do you return love to somebody that might be in that deep dark? Because this is what I want us to talk to people, that you could have a heart-centered life wherever you're at in your life. So I want a few of the queens to answer that question. How can, even with everything might be going on in the world, everything that's going on, how can they still have that power of a heart-centered love? Giving them some good tips on that.
Okay.
Just do it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is stuff happens, and sometimes it's not very good. I mean, when my husband said he wanted to be divorced, fine, okay. But every time I saw him after that, whether it was in a mall or someplace else at an event or something, I went up and gave him a hug. Like, I couldn't get on with my life while I was in that relationship. So thank you very much for letting me go. We all have stuff that happens to us. It's just do it. Whatever it is that you need to do to take that next step forward.
Yeah. Hey, Sherry, Nike said it best. Just do it. That goes with everything almost, right? Any other queen that want to comment?
I wanted to say something in regards to what Sherry said. I thought many times I just wanted to do it, just wanted to jump in and make it happen. Then I had to find my own technique so I can find my courage to get there. And what I learned was slowing down, sitting still. I've been in Jersey 5 years. I'm originally from New York. In New York, we're like this. Even on your day off, you're like this. Even on a Sunday, you're like this. Even when you're sleeping, you're like this. You're thinking about tomorrow. I had to learn to stop. I had to learn to sit still. That was huge for me, to sit still, to even know how to breathe. Like, I never thought about breathing. I took a breathing technique class, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to breathe. And just learning those little steps, being compassionate, being loving, being kind to myself, listening to myself, learning to really accept and apply forgiveness to myself. All the things that I grew up not thinking that I was worthy, because that wasn't my role. It was liberating. And then when I was able to sit down and look around and smile and what makes me happy, I was able to do what Sherry and Nike said, just do it. So now it's easier for me. Just sitting back, even thinking about this, about the heart-centered life. I had to sit back when I was in that moment, and I was like, oh, this is what Barbara's talking about. Sometimes you have to catch yourself, because, I still have that busy tendency. I always say Wednesdays and Sundays are my crazy days, because I got to catch up, step back into who I was becoming. but not forgetting where I was to be this person now.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like, oh, what makes Jackie happy? What fills my heart? What I want to share with others. And the biggest message that I always share is, ladies, queens, we are never alone. Never, never, ever. No matter what you've gone through, you never know what that other queen next to you, in front of you, behind you has gone through. And you'll be surprised. So we are never alone. And I am Jackie Melendez. I wanted to say that.
You know,
You're Jackie Melendez, and you approve that message.
there's
So
such a common thread. Go ahead,
Okay.
Barbara.
I want to can you hold that, because you're going to have some lasting thoughts. So can you say it then?
I hope so.
Yeah, we make it 30 seconds though. So with that, I want to make sure that I give time for each and every queen to say their lasting thoughts on this. Usually I was going to play another video, but this is powerful, and I want to make sure that they have the time to really say what they have to say. So I usually say it's a 30-second game. So it's still 30 seconds, but I'll let you just a little bit. But really just, let people, any lasting thoughts that you have, anything that's on your heart right now. Get it? Heart-centered life, right? So with that, we're going to start with, and I did interrupt her, so I'll let the mother and daughter duo go first, and then I'll go from there.
Oh, that's so much love. Thank you. Really, there is such a common thread here. It's just so incredible. But what I would say that's always worked for our clients and for myself is writing a love letter to yourself. You have no idea how healing that is. And just if you want to play some beautiful music, it just gets you right into your heart. And just take that letter and write, and just don't stop, because that's where the love comes from for yourself. And there are many other things, but I'll let Alisha talk.
One more thing I would add to that is, and I love mirroring work. So look in your mirror, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, and just connect with your eyes, connect to your heart, and just use your hand to connect to that place in your body, and just say the things you've always wanted to hear. I am lovable. I am enough. And really just let it land. And by putting your hand on your body, it connects to the emotional body, and it brings more feeling to it. And if you cry, cry. Just allow yourself to be with that. I am enough. Whatever else.
You are enough, and you are lovable.
And so that's what I would say as well, just to bring yourself back to your heart. We always look outside to get that love. And so the best way to do it is to see the mirror, because everybody's your mirror. So now you can see it and really own it.
Awesome golden nuggets. Next person in line.
So I like to say, leaving with Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. When your heart is aligned, when we heal, when we forgive, when we have gratitude, our decisions flow with ease. Our peace, inner peace we give definitely increases. And our purpose, which we were created to do, to give, to live, whatever your purpose is, becomes louder than anything else.
Yes. Okay. Miss Sherry, 30 seconds.
I want to go back to the words unstoppable. Don't stop. Just keep going. My husband, I'm going to bring him in. My husband, I was wife number 4, and people were going, oh my God. But this man allowed me to be who I was without putting any parameters on things. So that was wonderful. But the fact is, he kept going. He kept being unstoppable and looking for the right person in his life. And we all have that opportunity. Be unstoppable. Just because it doesn't work the first time, the second, the third, the fourth, the 15th, doesn't matter. Keep going.
Okay, Jackie, really, really quick, lady.
When we live from the heart, we just don't change our lives. We help heal the world. Us as women especially. So there you go. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. Awesome, awesome. Power of heart-centered life. Live that heart-centered life. Please remember that. And please talk to these ladies. Make sure that you reach out to them. They are out there in the social media world. As I always say, believe in yourself because you are the best of you. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye.